ready!
Hello everybody, I'm Kirby and welcome to part 10 of Final Fantasy XIII Randomizer. Let's get to it. Alright, so now we get a lot of this 5th arc to go through. And a lot of enemies here where you can run into and fight them and kill them and grind. With those guys, I would stick with Cerberus or Aggression. And you should be able to 5-star those guys real quick. The slug looking guys. And even these little slimy dudes. I use more of Try Disaster on the green guys. And then on the slugs, I use more of Aggression on them. And it should wipe them out really, really fast. Now later on, there is going to be a fight where you're going to have to use like one of those invisibility shrouds. And try to keep yourself, and then run right into them. And then get a preemptive strike on them. Not here. It'll be way up ahead. Okay, I did want to fight these guys. And the reason why I'm fighting a lot of these guys here is because I'm trying to get lightnings. Yeah, lightning is got with the synergist. I'm trying to get her synergist stuff, and then later on, once we get close to the Cid fight, I was trying to get her Saboteur. Because she does got some pretty good debuffs that we can use. I think it was Impale that she was about to get, and that's what I was trying to aim for. And with Cid coming up, yeah, debuffs do work on him. But we'll explain that one. I'll explain that one once we get to it.
Sergeant's place. Where do you hide something like this?
So we come up here. Did I? Yeah, I did use a shroud here. Okay. So yeah, this was one of the fights I was talking about. This one, I would definitely use a shroud and then go into like Aggression or Cerberus, whatever you got, and then just take them out that way. But even though that was the fight that I was talking about using a shroud, that wasn't the main fight that I was talking about. As a matter of fact, I think. Yeah, there's one coming up with like a whole crap load of slugs, and then one coming up with a whole crap load of slugs and a behemoth. I believe that's how it was. But yeah, it's just not much, just, you know, going around this whole area here. There are a few items that we can grab, a few treasure spears. Now there is an enemy coming up, they're like dancers. I call them like dancers. And what they do is they'll throw a daze on your party members. There is a way, I'll have to look it up because you need it for Bartanulus as well. For when we get to Erebov? Yeah, these guys right here. But, I think it's like a foul. Just look at the description of it and it should tell you whatever cures daze, use that when they throw daze on you because it'll prevent the party from attacking. But I think it was like a foul or something, what it was called. Yeah, so when you go into the shop, just look at the description of it, and it should tell you whatever one that says that it cures daze, then get that one. I think there was an item here. No. No, up here, these guys, yeah, I like fighting these guys, except for there's one later I hate fighting. But these guys, what they do is they can summon like a sword.
Win if we stay focused.
And if you get a preemptive strike, I would stick with Try Disaster, and then go with Cerberus or Aggression. But he will summon a sword if you're not fast enough, and when he does, you can debuff the sword if you got any debuff characters, or go into try disaster, into aggression, and then take out the sword first. And then of course, as you see, I got haste now with lightning. Yeah, that's what I have to do. Oh, yeah, that's another thing I have to go over, is when you want to get a new role, like with lightning and saboteur, you have to upgrade to level 1, and that means whatever ability is there first, like impel, you have to get that first to get it up to level 1, or else you're not going to be able to use it. So make sure you get whatever ability that is, and then you have saboteur in your thing, and so on and so forth, and sentinel and all the others. But yeah, so if he summons the sword, stick with try disaster and buff your characters, and then aggression to take up the sword. But other than that, if you preemptive, do some debuffs on them if you can. Try to get as much debuffs as you possibly can on them, and then go into an aggression, and you should be able to wipe them out a lot faster. And then plus, if you get bravery or faith, that actually works out too. Because then like Saz or Pope can give you one of those, and then it'll increase your strength or increase your magic, and it'll definitely help take them out a lot faster as well. So that Aroga that we got with Hope earlier sure does come into play, because when you're in stagger and a Ravager uses like a Ravager move, like, and it has to be like a Roga, Viaga, Blizzaga, Thundergo, whatever. It actually has the same effect as a launch per se, and it keeps that enemy airborne. So with Aroga there, it was definitely keeping him airborne pretty much the whole time. Which I kind of find that fascinating. I didn't actually realize that until I started playing the randomizers. So this isn't the one where you hit the switch and enemies pop up, but that does come up later. I think that's after Sid. Those enemies, I would probably stick with aggression or Severus and just take them out quickly. Those guys, I would switch between try disaster and aggression. I should be able to wipe them out quickly. So I did have to do very, very, very little grinding here, as I was saying before about getting the saboteur for lightning. I did have to go back and do a little bit grinding, but obviously I did take that out. But I do show here in a little bit that I got a saboteur roll for lightning. Because we're getting close to Sid right now. We got these behemoths here, which is pretty much
On your toes.
almost like the last behemoth that we fought from before. Except, of course, he does do a little bit more damage. But basically, if you got a haste your characters.
Keep a cool head.
Switch to try disaster, try to get a stagger up. Now, I don't know if this happened before, but it's gonna happen between now and the end of the game. When you get a behemoth's health down to a certain point, he'll actually stand up, and when he does, if you got any debuffs on him, he will, as soon as he stands up, the debuffs will go away, and then his health will actually regain too.
New strategy.
So you have to start the process all over again. But if you are strong enough, and you can get him to a stagger, you can take him out that way. Or if you're strong enough, and you got a lot of debuffs on him, then you can just switch to like aggression, and it should wipe him out very quickly. So I want to show off that behemoth fight. And I believe there's another behemoth, yeah, right up here. Okay, so there wasn't any more slugs by themselves, So this one coming up is the slugs and the behemoths. And the behemoths. That was supposed to be a weapon for hope, but that's a weapon for lightning.
Suppose they've got torments.
Yeah, I use the invisibility shroud here. Oh no, okay. I'm wrong, my bad. That was the slugs by himself. But I do know we got the slugs and the behemoth, which is right here. They are right here, I just thought they were back there. So same thing. And then I would stick with try disaster in the beginning. Or actually, no, I would go aggression. Because it'll wipe out the slug quickly. And then of course, haste. But yeah, normally aggression, yeah, I went to try disaster, yeah, because my magic is pretty much strong. But normally you would stick with like aggression or Cerberus because it does wipe out the slug very fast. But seeing that my magic is pretty much OP, yeah, I took out the slugs and the behemoth, and it will put the behemoth stagger in there. And then I would think I was able. No, he did stand up. Okay. I was trying to, that's why I switched to aggression as quickly as possible, because it could have taken him out. And then he's got Panga, which he can throw on you as well. So if you got an Esena with anybody, I would definitely use that as well. No, yeah, see, I was a little confused on the slugs because normally aggression, you know, the commandos are a great way to take out the slugs, but yeah, then I realized that, yeah, my magic is pretty much OP. So I was able just to wipe them out that way too. So if you do struggle with, you know, doing what I just did here, then yeah, just switch to any commandos. A lot of, like, at least 2 to 3 commandos at least. But yeah, just stick with what we did before, you know, with the last behemoth. And then you should be alright once you take out the slugs. If worse does come to worse, Eidolon. Really, Eidolons are to help you get out through a sticky situation. That's why I always recommend an Eidolon. If you're in that situation, I mean, if it comes to it, you can always grind a few enemies to get your TP back up to 3. 3 is the most that you need anyways. Well, unless if it's randomized to where it's 5. If it's 5, then that kind of sucks. I did fight these behemoths up here, but I didn't really keep them in. Like I said, I was trying to get Saboteur. Alright, so up here, if you have any way of upgrading your weapons, accessories, any of that, and your Crysterium, go ahead and do that. You got Cure with Saz. There's Attack Commando for Hope, which I decided to get that so I can put him. So now we can do Cerberus if we want to. But yeah, upgrade any weapons, accessories, do Crysterium, everything. Because Sid is going to be a big challenge coming up here. And then this is my setup for this one. I do believe I did use Shiraz for this, and I would too. The only thing is that Sid can take away your any of your buffs. And we got an accessory for Hope. But yeah, Sid can take away your buffs, so be mindful of that. I would do all for one because you can keep switching back and forth to at least buff your characters a little bit. If you have a Sentinel, I would put in a Sentinel. Well, of course you're going to have a Sentinel. But I would put in the Sentinel because Sid will be more focused on the Sentinel than he will any of the other party members. Got Faith, so that should help. But like as you can see here, it's possible to do this without a Sentinel. But it was a little bit more challenging for me. So I would probably put in Hope, or not Hope, Snow, if you have to. Just make sure he's got some good accessories and his weapon is upgraded a little bit.
Rain.
But he'll always protect the party. Now what I would like to do is, if you use Snow, I would go Sentinel, Commando, Commando, and then as one role, and then Sentinel, Ravager, Ravager is another one. And I would probably do Sentinel, Medic, Medic, or Sentinel, Medic, Commando, but make sure you have a lot of Commando, Sentinels. And then, as for the first two, try Disaster, Aggression, or Syphilis, depending. But basically, this starts off as the same. You're just gonna use Aggression, go into try Disaster, and then you can do some impels on him, or any like debuffing if you can, 'cause that will definitely help out a lot. So once he gets to a stagger here, we're going to switch back to an aggression, and hopefully we can keep him airborne the whole time. Now at any time you launch him up into the air, and he drops down, and Lightning's taking her time, or whoever got launched takes their time to get him back up into the air, you will not be able to get him back up into the air. And I think it happens right here. Yep, right here. He was able to do that, and like I said, he was debuffed too. And I got very, very lucky with Lightning here. And yet I still decided to risk it. But keep your party members healed. Buff as much as you can. If you have to switch back and forth between buff, medic, you know, not, stuff like that, and I would do that. Just be mindful though that he will take away your buffs. I do have a protect, so that does help too. If you have protect, make sure you have that too, because you know he will debuff it at some point. It will still help you out as much as possible. And he does do a daze too, so those I think those foul, whatever they're called, will definitely help in this fight as well. Or SNL. If you have an SNL with anyone. I actually forgot what it was that I needed, so that's why I didn't get it. And that's why Hope was kind of useless at this point. But I would make sure to at least get that. And then when he's in the guard here, this is your opportunity to buff, heal. I don't think debuffs will work on him, I'm not 100% sure. But at least take the time to heal and buff. And then he'll go into his little ray there and then take out the buffs again. So anytime you see the ray. Now, a little trick that you could possibly do is anytime you see the ray, and I'll show this off in the Barthenulus fight, but if you see the ray, you can go straight into the Eidolon and it'll actually protect you and protect your buffs. It'll protect everybody's buffs. So if you go into Odin as soon as he does the ray, and then you get out of Odin, and he's still alive, then you got your buffs, you still got your buffs with you. But, again, he will try to debuff you eventually. That's why All for One is probably the best way to go. Unless if you have someone else in mind. Yeah, see, he took out Hope there. So I had to use the Phoenix down on him. Yeah, he'll probably also wipe out one of your party members, so always make sure you got at least a couple of Phoenix downs on you.
I owe ya.
Let's go.
Yeah, once he goes back into a guard, just make sure you heal yourself, and then buff yourself. At least make sure if anything, you can get anything out of the buffs, get haste. that is the best way to go, really. And then protect, you know, any protect at all, because oh, excuse me. At least then you'll know he won't kill you. Yeah, that's another little devastating move he kept doing. Luckily he didn't kill Hope that time. But you can do what I do, yeah, and like, you know, get variety there, which was real helpful as well. If you can get anybody to throw in some debuffs, those really do help as well. Although the same routine with the Ray of Light, every time you use the Ray of Light, or the Ray of Light, whatever, the Ray, it'll get rid of his debuffs as well, and then once his health gets to this point, he'll start buffing himself. Now, if you do have Vanille, or anybody that has Dispel, use that on him, and it should get rid of his buffs right there. But my goal here was to at least try to throw a couple of debuffs on him, and then make sure everybody at least got some kind of buffs on him before he decides to do his Ray again. And I was trying to switch to try Disaster, but then he took out Hope and Saz. I think at some point I decided just to go ahead and use Odin because his health was getting pretty low.
Let's go.
And instead of just, you know, having to go through all this again, I just pretty much went in the fight and go into Odin. I think I did that. I'm not 100% sure. But if I'm looking at his health right now, yeah, if you're struggling at this point and his health is pretty much down to there, then yeah, I would use your Eidolon. As you can see, I was struggling just a little bit.
Try this on for soft.
But even also another thing is when he's in guard, you can attack him. It won't do any damage to him, but you can at least get the stagger gauge up a little bit. However, you do have to wait until he gets out of his guard mode before you can start attacking him. Even if he's staggered in his guard mode, it won't really do too much to him. I don't think it'll do anything to him.
Try this on for soft.
But now that I did it just in time too. I got him to stagger and then he got into his guard mode. I was trying to get him airborne too. If I would have kept him airborne, I would have had the fight right there.
Thank you.
But because he did that,
Take down the enemy.
I had to switch to get him some healing. But I was able to get him airborne again. See, that's the thing. When he lands and you give him even a second, he'll go straight into one of his moves. Yep, I did summon Odin at this point. Because I didn't want to risk him killing me or me having to switch back and forth between healing and all that, so I decided to just do Eidolon and see if I could just either get him close to death or get him dead. So yeah, here's the cool thing about this too, is you can like throw a haste on Odin. Like if or you can throw like buffs on Idolan, and it should help out a little bit too.
Lend me your blade.
I learned that, I think, by speed running. I was watching somebody speed run, and they were throwing buffs on their Idolans. Yeah, I think I was able to finish him off with Odin. Yep, sure did. Okay. Even though that was a no-star fight, I didn't care as long as I did it. We got the Muggle Works, and then I believe that was a health accessory. Muggle Works being shot, and then I switched my Paragons back, I think, to the way they were. Although, no, I believe I did start keeping Saboteur with lightning, so that way she could do debuffs on enemies, and then, of course, we could do buffs on ourselves now. A lot more buffs. And yeah, this was the one where the enemies dropped down, and those were the bombs. So, like I said about the bombs before, either go into a Tri-Disaster, take them out that way, Tri-Disaster, aggression, or just make sure you have a lot of health.
Jump in.
Alright, so speaking of Eidolons, up next we got Fang's Eidolon. And we're gonna have to fight. Not too hard, just make sure that you work on Fang's Crystarium as much as possible. And then if you need to, upgrade a lot of her items and accessories. Now necessarily you don't have to upgrade her items per se, because since Fang is going to be forced into this, and then a lot of the whoever you got in, like say you got Hope in, Hope's going to be taken out. So what you do is take Hope's accessories and put them on Fang. So I think the fight consists of Vanille, Lightning, and Fang. So if you're not using like any of those in your party, or you're using Saz, Snow, or Hope, then you could take the items off of one of those characters and make sure they're on Fang. If you need to upgrade her weapon just a little bit, you don't have to upgrade it much, just upgrade it a little bit, and you should be alright. But if you've been using Lightning a lot anyways, she's definitely a big help coming out. So we got another behemoth coming up here. Which I did not fight him, I thought I did. I was able to get around him. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend fighting those bombs. I thought I was going to there for a second. If you have to. Now here, if you have to, I would use a, one of those invisibility shrouds, because it'll definitely help out a lot throughout that fight. That fight is pretty aggressive. Those guys can kill you a lot. So if I use shroud, go into, Tri-Disaster, start off with Tri-Disaster, and then go into an aggression, and you should be alright. Same thing in this fight as before. Although this time I didn't get a preemptive on him, because you can't get a preemptive since he was forced. And then we got the blade this time. So I don't think I did first. I think I'm more focused on the enemy first, Berserker. But like I said, you do want to focus on that blade first. I think I risked it because if you kill the berserker and don't kill the blade,
You're going
then you'll both
down.
die anyway. But if you're pretty weak, yeah, then I start to focus on the blade.
Now.
You can actually throw debuffs to the blade if you need to, or just pretty much use like aggression or try disaster and aggression on them. And make sure you throw enough debuffs on him right here. Whatever debuff you got. And then aggression.
Try this on for size.
Try disaster 2 and aggression.
Try this on for size. Go.
Yeah, I don't think I was able to finish him off in time.
Let's wrap this up.
But at this point, since I got a debuff on him, and we were able to get him to a stagger very fast, I was able just to go ahead and finish him off this way. And you do want to make sure you get him to a stagger fast, because he will summon that blade again. Just because if you kill it even once, and you don't kill him with Berserker very fast, he can still summon that blade. But he can summon it as much times as he needs to. And then we got a Chip Fang.
This is not the secret to a long life.
And then here we got a weapon for Saz. That was part 10 of Final Fantasy XIII Randomizer. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.